Hello VC, and today's video is going to be about non-music music. And what I mean by that, these things I'm going to show you are, they're not actually music, but they're very musical. And so I guess kind of avant-garde. And most of this stuff is on CD that I own. You know, it's kind of hard probably to understand now for a lot of people, but you know, before the internet, you couldn't find this stuff unless you lived in a major city. There was no way of actually getting this material, let alone on vinyl. It wasn't like this stuff was popular to begin with, but to find it at all, you know, now you've got the whole world. You can get anything from anywhere, but you know, even record stores couldn't order this stuff. This I had to get from California, you know, by mail order. And oddly enough, now it is completely available on archive.org. It is you know, free to download. And oh, by the way, any of the stuff that I can find links for, I'll put links in the video, so you can actually just click on the link. It'll pause this video and you can open it up to give a sample. But this is the Conant Project. I don't know if you have this. These are shortwave recordings of number stations. Number stations are stations that really kind of a holdover from the Cold War. They are intended for one person to hear, a spy out in the field. And you know, the spy would have a pad, they'd write down this information, they'd have a thing to check out and see if, you know, what they had to do. And this is fascinating. It's got some music in it, you know, there's like little identifiers, but mostly it's static. And the book that comes with it, I don't know if that's available on archive.org, but I mean, that's really the money of it, because it'll tell you who they think is talking to whom, you know, which organization is trying to contact their spy, and it gets interfered with. So when you listen to this, besides being a real live spy mystery and as creepy as all get out, it is amazingly musical and interesting. Wilco with Yankee Hotel Foxtrot, that little Yankee Hotel Foxtrot part is from these recordings. They were sued by the Conant people, the Iredell company. I don't know if they had any right or not. I mean, they just took the stuff from, you know, the shortwave, so they didn't really own it to begin with. So I don't know how it worked out, but you know, I would give this a listen. Very fascinating. This is also extremely fascinating. Alvin Lucier's I Am Sitting in a Room. This is Alvin Lucier records his voice, and interestingly enough, he's got a stutter, and he takes that recording, he plays it back in the room, he records the room playing back that recording, takes that tape then, plays it back again and again and again, and eventually what happens is the frequencies that the room is kind of built for starts getting more amplified as it plays back, like a photocopy of a photocopy, and eventually his voice starts turning into tones, and the room is making tones, you know, and it's so interesting. It's just interesting, you know, taking something, and you can sort of start hearing, you hear a stutter, so there's a little bit of a pattern, but even eventually that gets obliterated, and just fascinating and great piece of avant-garde music, along with Steve Reich's tape experiments, Come Out and It's Gonna Rain. These are two pieces where he's got a preacher for Come Out, and I'm sorry, for It's Gonna Rain, and Come Out's actually for a protest piece. It was about, I think, a black gentleman being beaten by the police, and that was played for at some rally. And what he does is he takes two tape recorders of the same recording, and he slows down one of them just slightly, and it's in stereo, and it repeats, and the phase between the two starts, you know, fluctuating, and it becomes just amazing. I mean, it loops and it repeats, and it's just, it's I mean, for non-music, it's just voice. It's very musical and extremely interesting, and I recommend also listening to that. I do have Pierre Henry's Variations of a Door and a Sigh, which is basically just tape experiments with somebody breathing and a door creaking, and he kind of plays the creak, and the creak almost sounds like a saxophone wailing, and I don't like this. I don't recommend this, but I do have it, you know, and you know, I read a lot about Pierre Henry in some books, back when we had books about this stuff, you know, there's no way to even find out about this stuff, you know, just passingly. You had to read textbooks. And the final piece that I'd like to show you is Metal Machine Music by Lou Reed. Now, this is basically guitar feedback. I guess I could have also shown Neil Young's Weld, but this is the granddaddy of it, 1975, released on the RCA Red Seal. It was released as a classical piece. Some say to get out of his contract. He left RCA right after this. It sold horribly. Lester Bangs wrote a lot of pieces about how much he loved this, and I don't know if he was kidding or not. You know, it definitely gives the false idea that it's rock. It's not. It's just basically, you know, a lot of screaming noise. 2 album, and you know, if you listen on headphones for a while, your mood's gonna change. It is, it's a kind of a brutal piece to listen to, but it is kind of fascinating, and especially if he meant it. You know, he did a live version of it just recently with an orchestra. So, you know, either he's just playing it still and he's, you know, rewriting history, or he really did mean this as a musical piece. And it is, you know, basically it's just all the equipment here, and it says no instruments, question mark, you know. So basically he took 2 guitars and left them next to the speaker amps and let them feed back, and plays with that. So those are my pieces. I would love if you've got things I haven't seen and mentioned, you know, do a video response of your non-music music, because it's, you know, this stuff's kind of hard to find out about and learn about, and, you know, it is fascinating. So that's it here on the farm. Just wanted to take you outdoors, you know, do something a little different, and hope everyone's doing great. This is the 4th of July here. See ya.